Hi, welcome back to Fingerpicking 101. And today I'd like to dedicate this lesson to a new member of the Everyone Can Jam community. His name is Arthur, and Arthur has made 87 trips around the sun. And during the last 3 years, he has been learning to play guitar. And Arthur is interested in fingerpicking. And I'm just so excited to have you with us, Arthur. And there are several students who comment and call themselves mature beginners, and I just love that. I love that y'all are spending your time learning to play guitar. So to start today's lesson, I just want to review some technique, and I'm going to put the guitar down. In the first lesson, we talked about how the fingers move, the picking hand. If it's not your right hand, whichever your picking hand is. And I just wanted you to see this motion. The fingers are like a pendulum swinging from here. Now they will bend a little bit when I start picking the guitar. They'll bend a little bit at these smaller knuckles. But what we don't want is this, spidery sort of thing. Most of us tend to want to use these little muscles for some reason, and really we want to get more movement here. So one thing you can do, just when you're not even with your guitar and you have time, spend some time just moving your fingers. See how these fingers aren't really bending at the small knuckles. And you feel it back in here. And once you get used to that feeling, it's easier to reproduce it. I'll try to put it where you can see from the other side too. So see if you can get used to that motion. Let's look at it with the guitar. This would be a good thing to do as a warm-up. It's always a good idea to start your practice with a warm-up, which is doing something really easy and just gain some awareness of exactly what you're doing with your body. So let's look at the right hand a little bit. And for now, I'm going to play with thumb just gently resting on the 6th string, and these fingers, I'm trying to get the air where you can see the strings a little bit better. These fingers are assigned, as usual, pointer on the 3rd string, ring finger on the 2nd string. Okay. And I just want you to see this motion in the right hand. I'm just playing with my index finger. I'm moving all my fingers, but and this is an exercise you can do, not even worrying about which finger or which string, just use any finger, any string, and just get used to feeling the motion here and not so much, in the tiny little knuckles. And the thumb, if you look at it from this angle, kind of does a circle. We're trying to avoid the opposable thumb thing where the thumb is going under the fingers. If your thumb is out here, then your fingers don't get in the way of your thumb. And eventually that can be a big advantage. So I'm going to show you a new exercise today. This is not a more difficult exercise. It's just different. And it's a good idea to have lots of variety and spend lots of time just getting these fingers used to obeying us. So then later on, when we do things that are more complex, we can tell them what to do and they're a bit more obedient. So this is the PDF that I made for today. It's called PIMAI exercise, and God willing and the creek don't rise, this will be on my free instruction page. My computer's been a little bit cantankerous lately, but I think I can do it. And if it's not there right away, it'll be there soon. So let me, and be careful. I'm introducing tabs mostly so you can get used to reading them if you're not already used to reading them, but you can also just watch me, copy me, and I think most of you at this stage that'll work really well. And then once you know the exercise, if you're new at tabs, you can read the tab, and it's good to get used to reading tabs when you're playing something easy and familiar. So don't get stuck reading the tab if you don't need to. So this exercise, I'm not going to, right now I'm playing an E minor chord, but I'm not even using my left hand because you don't need to at this point to play an E minor chord. So I'm going to start with those same finger assignments that we just had. And this is P, this is I, this is M, this is A right there. P, I, M, A. Okay. So with the same string assignments, we're going to play thumb, third string, second string, first string, and then second string again, third string again. I'm trying to get it where you can see there. I think you see the strings better now. Sixth string, third string, second string, first, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So a little faster it would look and sound like this. And go as slow as you need to get it. Now let's talk a little bit about the advantages and disadvantages of fingerpicking. One of the really great things about fingerpicking is that, well, like just now, I wasn't doing anything with my left hand and I was playing an E minor chord. So since you're not strumming all the strings, you don't have to fret all of them. Let's look at this exercise. Say it starts with a G chord. I'm not playing, okay, let's look at a G chord. I'm not playing the fifth string. So we actually don't have to squeeze that one. And so finger picking can give you a chance to, you could play your G chord just squeezing the third fret on the sixth string and the first string. And you don't have to do the fifth fret. And that gives you a chance to do something a little easier with your left hand. Just focus on the right hand. So don't struggle with the whole chord if it's easier just to play. This is a G chord, and I'm not squeezing the fifth string at all. Let's look at, I wanted to show you, when I was learning, we used to call this the cheat G. I don't believe it's cheating. You want to play music, you'll gain skill, later you'll play the whole G chord, but when I was a kid, we used to call this cheat G. We used to reach around with a thumb to squeeze that third fret, and the thumb would touch the fifth string and make it dead, and then this string squeezes the third fret, and you can play your G that way. You could also just play the fourth string with your thumb, and that sounds nice too. Let's look at C chord. When I play this pattern, I'm not picking the fourth string. So this finger, when you're finger picking, you don't have to worry about this one. So if you're having any trouble with C chord, focus on this finger and this finger. And I'm plucking fifth string with my thumb. And I'm not doing anything with the fourth string. See? Okay, so the other really cool thing about finger picking, say I'm changing from a G chord, it buys you, when you're finger picking, it buys you some time to get to the next chord. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to finger pick my G chord. This finger's resting. This finger is just muting the fifth string just in case. So if I wanted to switch to C, I can plant this finger first, and I can play the fifth string and the third string. This finger's not even there yet. So it's just a little bit of time, but sometimes a little bit of time makes a big difference. And I bring this up because I've had a few people ask me lately about getting, when they're making a chord shape, getting all the fingers to land at exactly the same time. And that is, I don't know if somebody's teaching that or where that comes from, but I think it's better to not go for that. You want them there on time so that your chord will sound good, but think about it this way. If I'm new at making C, and if once I get this finger down, these other fingers have a reference point. They can land in reference to this finger. We don't have every single finger floating up here in the ether, not knowing where they are. Once this finger is planted, then these fingers can find their place pretty quickly. And if you're finger picking, you can plant this finger, and you can play that string even before this finger gets to where it's going. And you can play the third string, and you've got all that time before this finger has to be in that finger's place. So that's the advantage of finger picking. The disadvantage is if you have one string that's not being squeezed tight enough or fretted in exactly the right spot, when you finger pick, it's going to expose that one string that doesn't sound right. And you have to be patient with that at first. It will clean up after a while. It's good to spend some time just playing the chord anyway, and just, you want to focus on one thing at a time. So if you're focusing on your right hand, focus on that and let it be okay if the left hand isn't perfect yet. And then you can spend some of your time also focusing on your left hand and figuring out what that finger has to do so it doesn't buzz or doesn't sound dead. So those are some advantages and disadvantages. Let's see. Yeah, that's mostly what I wanted to share today. Oh, yes, there's one other thing. Did I leave it over there? Oh, sorry, it's over here. I wanted to give you a chance to, this is a scale this is from our last lesson. It's the alternating bass with the thumb. And we just had, let me get where you can see right hand a little bit better. We just had thumb going back and forth like this on the 6th string. Well, not always the 6th string. Sometimes the 6th string and the 4th string. On C chord it would be 5th and 4th. And if you're getting used to this and you can be pretty steady, try putting a finger in between each thumb. Maybe at first just do one finger. So let's start with index finger. Thumb finger, and just put a finger in between each thumb. This is a G chord. And you could do that with index finger for a while. Then you could do it with ring finger on the 2nd string. I might be going a little too fast. It's always good to go as slow as you need to make it easy. Once you've got it slow, it's amazing. It's not that hard to speed it up. And you could do some work and actually you could just be random and do any finger in between the thumbs, but that's only if you're ready. That might be a little overload if you're not ready. It's a little easier for the brain to just do one finger. So that's about it. I just wanted to mention, some of you have asked about a finger picking class, and I was thinking at first that would be a great idea. And now, and our beginner guitar class is working out great. It's working and it's helping people gain certain skills that I know everyone needs. And that's working out really well. But I was thinking for finger picking, it might be better to have like a finger picking club where we just check in with each other on Facebook, or we can have face-to-face meetings. So I'm about to run out of time. I have problems if I go over 15 minutes, so I'm going to be in a rush. My website's in the description, www.everyonecanjam.com. So if you're interested in a beginner class or the finger picking club, let me know and sign up for my email list. Bye.